Today, we are focusing on a part of the building industry that I think most people, even professionals, tend to underestimate.
It's true.
It's that space where you drink your morning coffee, host a barbecue, and frankly, where you just assume you're safe. I'm talking about
The
balconies.
balcony. Yeah, it's the unsung hero of residential life. But from an engineering and, a liability standpoint,
Yep,
it's often the silent villain of multi-unit housing.
that's a dramatic opening, the silent villain.
Yeah,
But looking at the stack of research we have today, it feels pretty justified.
it really does.
Yeah.
You see a roadmap for a massive transition in the construction market. We're seeing this pivot away from traditional materials we all know, wood,
Yeah.
fiberglass, toward fully engineered aluminum systems.
And our mission today is to unpack exactly why that shift is happening, why it's happening now. And for the professionals listening, the distributors, the contractors, we need to talk about how you position yourself to be on the right side of this.
Because based on these strategy docs, ALDG isn't just looking for customers.
No, they're building what they call a certifying ecosystem.
Exactly. But to understand the solution, we have to start by being brutally honest about the problem. The sources call it the multi-housing reality.
I read that section. It sounded a little ominous. When we talk about the reality of balconies in 2025, what are we actually dealing with?
We're dealing with what's called silent failure.
Okay.
Think about the difference between a single-family home and, say, a 100-unit apartment complex. If you have a wood deck in your backyard and a board starts to rot, you notice it.
Sure, you step on it and it feels spongy.
Right, you go to the hardware store, spend $50, and you fix it on a Saturday.
It's a chore, but it's not a crisis.
Precisely. But in a multi-unit building, you have hundreds of balconies, all built at the same time, same materials, same weather exposure. And the failure isn't usually a board snapping in half.
It's something more subtle.
It's water intrusion. It's moisture seeping into joints, getting behind fasteners, and getting trapped.
And because it's hidden, nobody sees it until it's way too late.
That's the silent part. If you're using wood or fiberglass, that trapped moisture is a cancer. It causes rot from the inside out, or it causes fiberglass to delaminate.
So by the time you see a stain on the ceiling of the unit below, the structural integrity could already be gone.
Often is, yeah. And that leads to the scale of liability. Because if one balcony in a 100-unit building is failing,
They're all probably failing.
they're all on the same timeline. That's the nightmare scenario for a developer or a condo board. Maintenance scales exponentially. It becomes a logistical black hole.
So the drivers for this shift to aluminum, it's not just about how it looks. It's really a defensive move against liability.
100%. It's driven by three pressures: sustainability, stricter safety codes, and just this desperate market demand for performance that doesn't require constant upkeep.
Which brings us to aluminum. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
I know aluminum is strong. It's in airplanes. It's in soda cans. But why is it the magic bullet for decking?
It really comes down to basic material physics. Biological materials like wood, they react to the environment, they swell, they shrink. That movement breaks seals.
Okay.
Aluminum is inert, it doesn't rot, it doesn't absorb moisture, and it offers absolutely zero food for mold or fungus.
So right off the bat, you've eliminated that silent failure mechanism. Water can't hurt it.
Exactly. But there's an even bigger issue than water, and this is where regulations are getting really tight.
Fire.
Fire.
I saw a lot of codes in the source stack, NF13501, all these reports. What's the headline there?
The headline is the classification. A1 non-combustible.
A1. Okay, break that down for us. What does that actually mean in the real world?
It's the gold standard. It means the material contributes absolutely nothing to a fire. It doesn't generate smoke, and crucially, it doesn't create flaming droplets.
Flaming droplets. That is a terrifying phrase.
It's a critical hazard. Imagine a fire on a 10th floor balcony. If you have fiberglass or some composites, they melt. You get burning liquid plastic dripping down onto the 9th floor.
And suddenly the fire spreads downwards as well as upwards. I hadn't even thought about the downward spread.
It's a nightmare for insurers. With aluminum, that just doesn't happen. It won't burn. In a world of skyrocketing insurance premiums, an A1 rating isn't just a safety feature, it's a financial asset.
It literally lowers the risk profile of the entire building.
Massively.
So it handles water, it handles fire. Let's talk about strength. I saw that LeeCor engineering report about their columns.
Yes, the 80037 Fever RP columns. And this is where we have to distinguish manufacturing from engineering.
What's the difference here?
ALDG isn't just bending metal. They're calculating load paths. According to LeeCor, depending on the height, A single one of those columns can handle loads from 10,000 up to 38,000 pounds.
38,000 pounds on one post. That seems like a lot.
It's about the factor of safety and longevity. A wood post might be strong on day 1, but what about year 10, after it's been rained on and frozen? Aluminum doesn't degrade. That capacity is permanent.
Okay, logically, on a spreadsheet, aluminum wins. It's stronger, safer, doesn't rot. But I have to push back on the livability factor.
Ah, the aesthetics.
Yeah. When I think of aluminum decking, I think of, cold industrial catwalks.
That's the classic objection. And honestly, 20 years ago, you'd be right. They've solved that problem.
I did see the finishes. They have teak, barnwood, taupe. In the photos, it really does look like wood.
It mimics the warmth, yes. But the clanking is solved with engineering. The profiles are designed to be rigid, and they connect using a tongue and groove system.
Like hardwood flooring inside a house.
Similar idea. It's that level of detail that separates a product from an engineered system.
It really is a different league of responsibility. Let's zoom out to sustainability. Aluminum mining is energy intensive. Is this actually green, or is that just marketing?
It's a valid question. The argument really relies on the life cycle assessment. First, aluminum is 100% recyclable. Fiberglass ends up in a landfill. It's trash.
Right. You can melt aluminum down forever.
But the stronger argument is what they call the saving trees reality. The most sustainable thing you can do is not replace the product.
Ah, I see. What you don't have to fix is where the real savings are.
Exactly. You might replace a wood deck 3 times in 30 years. That's 3 harvests, 3 rounds of trekking, 3 installations. You install aluminum once, you've cut that carbon footprint by 2/3.
So it's an investment in permanence.
Precisely. You save trees by not using them in hostile environments where they're just destined to rot.
That frames it perfectly. So the product is solid. What about the contractor, the person on site? What's in it for them?
For the contractor, it's all about speed and simplicity. The sources keep mentioning faster installation, fewer trades.
Fewer trades is music to a general contractor's ears.
It's the holy grail. With the ALDG system, it's an assembly. It arrives ready to go. You don't need a separate waterproofer because the material is the waterproofing.
So you cut out the scheduling headaches and the mess.
Less cutting, less sawdust, less debris.
Yeah.
It becomes a clean installation task. It frames the contractor as a safety consultant. It builds trust. And trust means no callbacks.
Right. If you install this, you get paid, you leave, and you never hear about a problem with that deck again.
That's the ultimate currency.
So let's try to synthesize all this. We're seeing a market pivoting hard away from high maintenance, high liability materials
Towards engineered, low-risk aluminum. And ALDG is positioning itself as the backbone of that shift. They're selling the whole ecosystem, the engineering, the testing, the training.
So if you're a distributor or contractor listening, the message seems clear. The train is leaving the station.
You can either keep selling materials that are going to end up in a landfill, or you can get certified and become the expert. The opportunity is to be the first in your local market to really master this.
I want to leave everyone with one last thought to chew on. We talked about silent failure at the start, the rot happening where you can't see it.
Yes.
If the balcony is the vulnerability in the building, the weak point, is sticking with traditional materials really the conservative choice? We think doing what we've always done is safe, but in this case?
In this case, doing what you've always done is probably the most dangerous gamble a developer can make. The data is there, the engineering is there. Ignoring it is a risk you just can't afford to take in 2025.
That is the million-dollar reality check. Thanks for listening to this deep dive into ALDG and the future of decking. We'll see you on the next one. Stay curious.